if you could, to share with us a 3 Feet from Gold story. I'm sure you're very well aware of Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill, and R.U. Darby and his uncle go out to prospect for gold, and long story short, they find a vein of gold. It stops. They keep digging. They dig. They stop 3 feet from where the richest vein of gold up to that point had been found. Can you share a personal story where you've met seemingly insurmountable obstacles, but through perseverance, through belief in yourself, you've overcome them?
Yeah, I mean, I can't point to one specific story, only because for me, I guess I just don't stop. And so that's part of the entrepreneurial mindset, is you have to be willing to sort of be like that rubber bouncing ball that, our kids play with, and just you hit one thing and it sends you in a different direction, and you do it and you just keep bouncing until you get to wherever it is that you think you want to go. But I mean, that is really, you talk about quotes that I've coined, although my wife tells me that this one is something she's heard, but she just can't place it. I keep challenging her to find out where she saw it, because I think it's unique, I think it's original, and I think it's mine, but she will say otherwise. But one of the quotes that I use in the book, Journey to You, A Step-by-Step Guide to Becoming Who You Were Born to Be, is that the destination is the road and the journey is the destination. And so the idea is that it's not a matter of being 3 feet from gold, because I don't think that you ever hit a point where you're done. And so to me, it's just a continual dig. And I know, it's kind of the Buddhist frame of mind of life is suffering, but I mean, that is really kind of how it is from an entrepreneur's point of view, which is that you never hit the finish line. Whatever it is, it doesn't exist. Wherever you think it is that you want to get to, you're always going to, I refer to them as lines in the sand. I mean, you're always going to be caught up in that utopian myth that once something happens, then you're going to give yourself permission to do something else. In other words, if you need, let's say your goal, your line in the sand is to have 50 grand in the bank. And once you have 50 grand in the bank, then you're going to walk with confidence. You're going to treat people nicely. You're going to feel differently about life, this, that, and the other. And what happens is when you get to that line in the sand, all you do is scratch it out and put one further down the road. And so now you need 100 grand in the bank, or whatever those goals might be. And so it's just a continual process of trying to get from where you are to a different point down the line. And what I encourage people to think about is that however you think you will be, act, do, or feel when you get across that line, be, act, and do and feel that way now, which actually it doesn't involve complacency, but it actually is fire and fuel that you can use to propel yourself forward. So it actually works in quite the opposite manner. But reality is that, let's say you're on a job search and you've been out of work for a year, and you draw a line in the middle of a board, and on the left side of the column there, on the left column, you put how you're feeling now, which is you're feeling anxious, you're feeling fearful, you're concerned, you might be a little angry, all of these things that go hand in hand with being unemployed and just really feeling a little bit desperate, etc. And then line in the sand. So what happens? So anxiousness turns into calm, and fear turns into contentment and whatever. So now you have this left column, you have this right column, and it's all divided by this line in the sand. But what ends up happening is that if you carry that left column on your shoulders with you, where you've got that fear and that anxiousness and the desperation, et cetera, into a job interview, I mean, realistically, they're not going to hire you, because they're going to sense all of that, and they're going to be like, wow, I mean, okay, thanks, but we don't want a desperate, anxious, fearful person on our team. Yep. I mean, it's just human nature. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you carry the right side of the column with you, even though it may not be exactly where you are, where you have to, what you're feeling right now, if you are calm, and if you are content, and if you are happy, and if you are peaceful, and all of these things, well, then you're going to achieve your desired results in a much more effective way. And frankly, it doesn't cost you anything to change that mindset and carry that right side of the column with you, but literally it costs you everything to carry the left side. And so I'm sure it's a very long roundabout answer to your question.
No.
But that's really how I view things and how I try to teach people to view things.